I want you to listen to me. Since we were boys, I worked hard to be powerful. You can't take all this away from me. You better not try to.
I'm asking you to give it up, or else I will take it.
I hope you're prepared to die.
Entertainment, publications, mail from academics. Sonny, what up? It's like this, yo. Y'all disrespected the street religion. Better repent while you could. Somebody should chop your head off and point it to the hood. It's about who you are, don't tell me who you was. You ain't one of us, everybody's done badass. When you run up on them, it's never them. Been banging Berettas, you gon' call me Beretta Ben. Know the rules to the jokes, well I gotta be said again. You move, you lose, motherfucker, you better win. Got robbed, you gave it up, now let's let it in. Who don't want it dead at him? Fuck you, whatever then. A nigga knock at my door with a gun, I'ma let him in. Then I'ma put everything I got in his head and chin. The Mac 11 pin is deadly as 7 cents. Love, boom, let it swim.
In the Circuit Court for the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. State of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. As to case number 2008 CF 15606-0. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011.
We already knew that there was a really good possibility that she was going to be found guilty of the lying to law enforcement. And I personally didn't think she would be found guilty for the first count, which was the manslaughter on the first degree. But I thought she should have been found guilty for the aggravated assault, for sure. So I'm kind of on the fence.
I feel as though this is pretty much a slap on her wrist and a slap in everyone's face. This child was, the death of her has been, I feel like, been made a mockery by the media as a whole, and now nothing is being done for her.
Oh, I'm upset. I'm very upset. I think that she got away with it. I think that, justice will prevail, and that, she will eventually pay. But I'm very sad over the verdict. Very sad. Very unhappy. I think that she got away with it, and, I'm sad for the child.
I live 3 houses down from the Anthony family on Hope Spring Drive, and my reaction to the verdict is that it's completely asinine. I think that this verdict sets a poor example for the state of Florida, and I think that people who are baby killers are going to take a leap of faith from this, and that Susan Smith should have drowned her sons in Florida, and then she would be set free instead of spending life in prison in South Carolina.
I think the justice system was wonderful. I think if she was found guilty, it would have shown that the justice system would have failed. And whether she did it or not, which I don't know, they did not prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So to charge someone with first-degree murder and have her die, if you're not 100% sure, I think that would be sin. I think it would be terrible. So I really think our justice system failed.
I'm very, very sad. I'm disappointed with the justice system. I'm a law student. I'm thinking of changing because it was absolutely trickery. All this time, but 3 years ago, justice was not served today at all.
Case. I know y'all know that case was bullshit. Don't act like y'all didn't think that case was bullshit. That bitch is not even guilty, and there was more than enough proof. Alright, fine, because they couldn't connect the killing with her and the baby. But the fact is that she partied after the girl was reported missing. She was shopping. She was having like wet t-shirt contests. I mean, this is why her daughter was missing, Casey Anthony. And it's true you're guilty until proven innocent, granted, but they even try to compare the case to OJ. Like, why would you compare a case that has nothing to do with a child dying from their parent? OJ was 2 adults that was involved in it. This is an adult and a child. They dropped it down from all the charges, despite the many lies this devil lied about. She lied to the cops saying she worked in the University Studios of Florida. She lied about how long she thought the girl was missing. She lied about some nanny named Zanny. I mean, imagine somebody in the courtroom lying, unstopping about everything, just to find out that the person's not guilty. I mean, like I said, they couldn't pinpoint her to her daughter dying, but there's really virtually no one else to point it to. I mean, as close as the evidence goes to the mom, she even had the smell of the daughter's body in her car. So, like, it was literally shouting in so many words that the mom did it, but then it wasn't shouting that she did it. So, the case was crazy, you know. It was sort of like a concert for everybody. People used to, I mean, while the case was going, everybody was so distracted with it. You know, I call that the biggest distraction right there. The Casey Anthony case was the biggest distraction. Now, for the fact being, why it was a distraction? Because the Libyan, the NATO in Libya got crazy during the case. You know, so much similarities with the numbers and everything. It's crazy. You know. Now, what I want to tell you is that she's born on the 19th of March 19th. Now, the war got commenced on the 19th of March, and basically there's so many things that pinpoints everything to what's going on with her in the case. So what I want you to know is the people we're dealing with, like America and everything, they deal real heavy into ritualistic numeral symbology. I mean, I know it's not a word, but I call it ritualistic numeralistic symbology because everything's connected to rituals and numbers and dates. So, you know, like events that reoccur on certain dates, they have significance to them. So, like, that's why I'm trying to tell you, you know, what's going on is that this man does everything on a certain date. That's a ritual. A ritual is something rehearsed over and over on a specific date. So when you connect the dots, it's mind-boggling. You know, I just need you to know that, like, what we're dealing with is some crazy magicians and witches. Also on the 19th of March, there's a feast that the Romans celebrate in honor of Minerva. He's a Roman god, and I believe he's equivalent to Artemis in ancient Greece, and we all know that Greek gods is Egyptian gods reloaded, like Ra, Zeus, Isis is Athena, and Anubis is Hades. You know, they stole our gods and, you know, basically gave them facelifts. But on the 19th of March, there's a Roman feast to Minerva. Minerva is a Roman god. So remember, these dates, rituals are only happening on specific dates. To do a ritual, you have to do it on that date, and you gotta, like, basically, you know what I'm saying, pump it up. You know, so just keep that in mind. A Roman god, Minerva, they celebrate and have a feast in honor of him on the 19th of March as well. Now remember, the March 19th is Casey Anthony's birthday. March 19th was the uprising in Libya, and March 19th, NATO got commenced to Libya. Did you also know March 19th, the same day, George Bush declared war over there in Iraq? So, you know, guys, I'm just doing this for you. I'm showing you how shit could get broken down. Yes, March 19th is Casey Anthony's birthday. March 19th, George Bush, Little Bush, declared war in Iraq in 2003, all on the same day. And NATO commenced to Libya on March 19th.
A united NATO front will not bring an end to the conflict. As we know, NATO defense ministers recently confirmed an extension of the war against Libya for another 90 days to the end of September. The war is actually in its 108th day right now. It commenced on March the 19th.
Now, your typical layman is not going to get this right here. Now, even on the dates of the trials, you know, when it began, jury selection, etc., those same dates were also dates that blacks broke barriers. Now, like I said, rituals are something practiced on a specific date, done all over again in that same fashion. Now, for instance, it was an Emancipation Day, I believe, when she got acquitted. You know, or for another instance, a baseball player broke barriers on that date when the trial started. So, you know, we're going to also point to you that there's different individuals that broke barriers, Negroes, that broke barriers on a lot of the dates of the Casey Anthony. I believe there's certain dates where they broke barriers on their birthdays. So those are rituals too.
Casey Anthony was found not guilty on July 5th, 2011. On that same day, we had learned that a lightning bolt had struck a tree in the same spot where they found the body of her daughter. That's funny. August 9th is the day that Kelly Anthony was born. Now, also on the same day that she was born, Charles Manson had his followers commit all those murders in that mansion. That's real crazy. The same day she was born, those murders were committed.
Yeah, and I believe like one of them was a producer that died, and he had a pregnant wife. They was all like celebrity A-list couples, and you just gotta peep the science on that.
The trial started on May 17th. Also on May 17th, in the past, the New York Stock Exchange was formed.
And by the way, you got to see how the New York Stock Exchange was formed on that very day. Now, the case was a huge revenue booster for HLM. It was mainly played on that station, and every other station just jumped on the bandwagon, but HLM was really running it. And also, on May 17th, I believe that's when the case started, right?
Yep.
Now, May 17th, there's a Muslim calendar that they celebrate called the Baha'i. It's a specific Islam religion where this specific follower had 19 followers. And the calendar has a 19-week, and it's a 19-month calendar, and there's 19 weeks in each month, I believe. But the whole fact is that there's 19 all over the place. So, in wrapping this up, man, I just need you to understand is that this man used specific dates to do his thing. He ain't shit without his magic, and that's why we need to get back to our shit. So, guys, I'm gonna end it with Gaddafi's son letting you know what's really going on with Russia TV, and y'all take it from there.
Why do you think has your fate turned so violently?
It's a good lesson for everybody, for us and for others. We heard, we got messages from many countries, and we heard many news from Iran, North Korea, saying, this is your mistake, Libyans. You give up your weapons of mass destruction, you stopped developing long-range missiles, you became very friendly with the West, and this is the result. So, what does it mean? It means this is a message to everybody, that you have to be strong, you never trust them, and you have to be always on alert. Because those people, they don't have friends. Over one night, they change their mind and they start bombing us. And the same thing could happen to any other country. They have one target. This country is a piece of cake, rich, full of gas, oil, and we have more than $100 billion deposits abroad, so we have to share this cake. That's it. And we have to get off Mr. Gaddafi because he's the only obstacle between us and the cake. It's as simple as that.
But there are some people saying that if Gaddafi goes, the fighting will stop.
Stop? Of course not. Because their goal is not Gaddafi. Their goal is to control Libya. Is to control Libya. This is the target. And the Libyans will not allow them to do that. So the fight will continue. Experience.
When all this nightmare will be over, how do you think?
Listen, NATO and rebels, both are in a hurry. They want to finish as soon as possible because they are hungry, they are tired, they want to share the cake. Mm-hmm. It's like, for them, Libya is like fast food, like McDonald's, fast. Because everything should be fast. Fast war, fast airplanes, fast bullets, fast victory. But we are very patient because we are in our country. It's our country. We live here, we die here. So we are very patient. One day, the French will go back to Corsica and France. The Italians will go back to Sicily and Italy. The Danish will go back to Denmark. The Canadians will go back to Toronto. and Libya will be back to the Libyans.